Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Monday the 28th of April, and on this first day of the trading week, this is an educational video. There's no advice whatsoever intended doing this. It is purely for educational only. So let's start with Alphabet C, or Google, the C share that jumped Friday but closed back below 164 support. RSI still in a negative sentiment and needs to close above 60 threshold to actually go into a bullish or positive sentiment, but it also, when the price closed below 164, well, it could still come under pressure in the coming days. But let's also have a look at Apple, because here Apple Friday tested 209.68 resistance. RSI still negative sentiment. It needs to close above 60 threshold to support and confirm a bullish trend, and the close above 212.94 on the actual instrument, or the actual share price would actually do. I'm quite certain it will actually do that, and then we'll have a bullish trend that could take it higher towards 225. But for now, it's still under pressure. Tesla, we have to talk about Tesla also, because it was up about almost 10% Friday, but still below the 291.85 resistance, and RSI still just below 60 threshold. So if it can close above 60 threshold and Tesla's share price can close above 291.85, well, then we could get a bullish trend towards 325. But if both are being rejected and there's some strong resistance here, we have the 200 moving average kind of putting a lid on it also here. So that could be a bit of a struggle. And if Tesla is sliding back, well, then we could see it testing once again the 212 key support area. So that will be key towards the next few days. Looking at the actual indices, and today I will start with Nasdaq 100 for a reason. Nasdaq 100 actually closed above resistance at 19,234. However, the RSI is not above 60 threshold. So we do have established a bullish trend, but it is fragile and it is not confirmed until we get the RSI back above 60 threshold. However, there is no strong resistance until around 20,292, but we could see that, well, there's a minor resistance around 19,707. So maybe it will shoot up there and then it will be rejected and then resume downtrend. But let's see about that. But if Nasdaq 100 moves back below 19,234 and closes back below, well, then downtrend is likely to resume. And here, pre-market, really not much, about 0.25% lower, so not much to say about that. But we have established a bullish trend. It's just not confirmed with the RSI. And now we are looking at S&P 500. Let's just adjust that a little bit. S&P 500, and actually closed this gap area here, and it closed above 5,522, just with a few dollars, as we can see, 5,000. Let's see here, 5,528 exactly. However, the RSI didn't close above 60 threshold here either, so that's going to be interesting. Where will we actually end? Will it actually close above 60 threshold or not? If it can do that, then we could see the index S&P 500 pushing higher towards 5,695, 5,700, but really strong resistance up here just below 5,800. If it's sliding back below 5,490, downtrend is likely to resume. Dow Jones index is still struggling really, and it's nowhere near its resistance here at 4,986, so it's still a little bit depressed. If it takes out 39,371, then I think we see downtrend resuming. Hang Seng basically doing nothing, around the 50% retracement of this downtrend here, just around 22,060 level, just above 22,000, hovering around that area. So that will be key here the next few days. Can it actually push towards 22,730, or will it close the gap down to 21,562 and then resume downtrend? Underlying moving averages are pushing higher, so there should be a chance that it will push higher towards 22,700. Euro Stoxx 50, strong days or strong week last week, pushing higher, trading around the 100 moving average, and could push up to 5,228. RSI still below 60 threshold, so that is weighing on a little bit. Could be rejected up there, and then we'll probably have a correction. But it's been a very strong push indeed. But there's some strong resistance in that area there. The DAX index, well, despite the fact that RSI is still below 60 threshold, it has been almost 20% bounce. That has been really strong bounce, and now we're also back above 22,148. Could push higher. There will be a little bit of resistance. Let me just show it to you here on. There will be a little bit of resistance in this area around 22,540. But in this area here, if it can push back, also back above the cloud world, then we are almost back. And we are almost back. That has been really, really strong bounce. However, if it starts sliding back below 22,148, that will be key towards the support here, this gap area here down to, let's see, where is it? Down to 21,436. So this gap area here could come under pressure, and that will be key towards the next few days. Euro dollar, well, not really doing much. Still above the support here at 112.40.50 level. Could bounce higher, but if it's, I think we actually see this being tested here the next few days. So keep an eye on this level. Sterling dollar, well, also in a correction mode, can't make up its mind. Should push higher, but there's strong resistance up here at 134.35. I actually think we will see a correction lower, and if we do see sterling dollar take out 132.30, then I think we'll see 131.50 being tested at least. Euro sterling has tested the the support at 85.19 a couple of times, but still holding on. I think if we see it breaking it below a third time, then we could see a sell-off down to 84.60. Dollar yen still in a bouncing mode or correction mode, very close to the 38.2 retracement, 144.20. I think we need to look at the weekly chart just to reiterate what has happened or played out. You can see that the dollar yen tested 140.25, a key strong support last week. So a strong bounce could be seen, and we could see a bounce up to possibly 146.5, 146.85, where we have the 61.8 retracement. But we are in a downtrend, and there is no divergence indicating we could see lower levels. And I think if we is pushing back below 142.20, then downtrend will resume. Euro yen. Can it get up and test once again the 164.20 resistance? If it can do that, well, then we could see a push above 165. So that will be key here the next couple of days or the next week or so, and we're going to talk more about it. The 55 and 100 moving average has started to turn around here, so it's kind of giving a little bit of support. So let's see what's going on actually here the next few days. So keep an eye on that. We have Aussie yen. Aussie yen closed above minor resistance at 91.80. Still negative sentiment, but there should be potential up to around 93.15, where we have the 55 moving average coming down, giving it kind of a hard time there at around that level there. So we could see it being pushed back again. If it takes out 89.60, well, downtrend will resume. Sterling yen has bounced to the 61.8 retracement of this sell-off there. Could be struggling, and if it moves back below 190, then downtrend is resuming. Aussie dollar, well, still hovering around this 64 level, just below the 200 moving average. Can't really make up its mind. There is some stronger support down here around 63, so it really needs to break out of this range trading behavior, and it's probably this behavior between 63.40 and 64.40 in this range here. I think if it breaks out bullish, well, then we are looking at 65.5. If it breaks out bearish, well, then we could see it dipping below 63. Dollar Canada, Also stepping sideways after finding some solid ground here around 138. And if it takes out the lows here from about a week ago, 137.80, well, we're going to see a push down towards 137, 136.50. But we are in a bouncing mode, and I think we actually will see it crawling up towards 140. But then we have the 200 moving average giving a little bit of hard time to further upside potential. Sterling Canada, really indecisive. Negative sentiment on the RSI, hasn't closed above 60 threshold. And I think if we will see, or I believe that if we see Sterling Canada pushing below 135.15, downtrend could resume. However, we have the 55 moving average coming up, supporting the uptrend, which we are in an uptrend, just need confirmation with the RSI above 60 threshold. Swiss francs and Euro Swiss has bounced 50% and a bit to the 55 moving average, but 50% of this downtrend there, this sell-off, could push up to the 61.8 we talked about last week, 61.8 retracement at 94.75. But if it starts sliding lower and takes out the 93.75, then I think downtrend will resume, and we could slide back towards 93, 92.5. Dollar Swiss started lower this morning, very much lower, but has been bought up throughout the session. I think we'll see a test at least at the 38.2 retracement at 83.50. If it takes out that, well, at least 50% will be reached, but there could be potential up to the 61.8 at 85.40, but let's see about that. If it takes out the low today at 81.55, I always subtract a little bit, as you can see, and if I just want to point it out, 81.58, so take away a few pips. If it takes out the low today, regardless, then I think we'll see downtrend resuming. And moving on to the dollar index, I still think it will challenge this gap area here, 100 spot 32 and 100 spot 74. Can it break it and close it? I doubt it. I think it will be rejected, and then we can see downtrend resuming. Gold, very interesting at the moment, very close to take out 3,260, and if it does, then I think we'll see a sell-off down to 3,164.67. In this, there's some strong resistance here, and also the 61.8 retracement, and that could be a very interesting development on the weekly. So we have this shooting star here last week. Market shot up and then collapsed and closed more or less at the same price, but we have this shooting star. If we do get a negative candle or negative week this week, well, then we have a very strong top and reversal in place. So that could be really key to watch out for, and I recommend that you keep an eye on that, but look out for 3,260. If it takes out that, then I think we'll see at least move down to 3,160, 64, 65 level. Silver above the cloud, but still negative sentiment and could collapse, and it also formed a top and reversal like pattern here. And if it takes out $32 an ounce, then I think we'll see downtrend resuming, push below 31. Copper is dancing around. Let's zoom in here. It's dancing around the 61.8 retracement and 486. Still negative sentiment. And if it takes out, and let me just draw a trend line there. If it takes out, or support line, if it takes out 473.60, well, then I think we'll see downtrend resuming, at least a sell-off down to around 450 area. But we're still bullish trend, but it's just not confirmed. RSI needs to close back above 60 threshold for that. Crude oil and WTI, well, it's still 65.20, 22 resistance. If it takes out 60, spot 46, then downtrend resuming. Brent crude oil, basically the same picture. If it takes out 63.79 to the downside, then downtrend has resumed. If it breaks above and closes above 68.68, there could be potential up to 72. European nat gas testing 32 support, 32 euro support, and on the weekly we'll see there's a potential down to 30 euros, where there's some stronger support. US nat gas Very strong bounce Friday, so maybe we'll have a little bit of correction of this last leg down there, possibly up to 3.40. We could be seen, but if it starts sliding lower and take out 285, 286, then there's potential much lower to 250, 55 area. US 10-year Treasury yields, well, dropped really significantly Friday below support at 425. Seems that downtrend is resuming really. There's just a little bit thing that the RSI actually did close above 60 threshold here about 10 days ago. So, but we are back below the cloud. We are back below 55 moving average, which is declining. So we could see further drop in the US 10-year yields, possibly down to 410, 411, which is the 61.8 retracement. And the 2-year, well, also lower. I'll skip that one and move straight on to where do we have it? The European yields that are really also interesting. It's still in a downtrend, but maybe find a little bit of support if it takes out the lows here from last week at 243. Then I think 237, maybe 232 will be tested. The UK 10-year has found support here at 786, retracement at 447. Could slide lower because there's actually negative sentiment. Could slide lower towards 438. Moving on to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin that spiked just above the 95,130 resistance, but still closing below. Actually did form a kind of a top reversal pattern, but I won't trust it that much. If it takes out the spike up there from last week at 95,976, then I think we could see a push up towards 100,000. Ethereum still struggling around the 55 moving average and the 1755 support here. So that will be struggling a little bit. If it can't really get away from it, well, then we're looking at 2100, but it's really struggling at the moment. If RSI closed back above 60 threshold, that could be poor upside potential. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you again later.